NBA free agency is set to begin for all NBA teams starting tomorrow. And for the Chicago Bulls, I have a list of the best free agent targets for our Chicago Bulls to add to the squad. And the Chicago Bulls are holding a memorial service for the legend, Stacy King. So I felt it was necessary to show love to him another time and also give you guys a message of my own. But before we talk about it and break it all down, you already know you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down for today's daily episode. So if you're tuned in, like what you're listening to today, make sure you go ahead and complete the simple two-step process that doesn't require rhythm. Hit the like button and subscribe. It's the easiest two-step process out there to support the channel. But hey, now we know the Chicago Bulls, they got some decisions to make. They do hold over $30 million in salary cap space to where they can utilize to continue to build and mold this young team. We know that the Chicago Bulls, they went out there and they're going to bring in two new young draftees from the draft, and they also are going to be able to evaluate and develop some talent that's going to be around for the summer league and potentially the G League. We're going to be watching those things closely. But now as we're entering free agency, there's going to be a number of options that the Chicago Bulls are going to have at their disposal. So I compiled a list of the best free agents that will fit the Chicago Bulls. We're going to kick this thing off by starting with Peyton Watson with the Denver Nuggets. He's a restricted free agent right now with the Nuggets, who shot 41% from the three last season and scored and averaged about 15 points per game. It's actually 14.6, but in math, my teacher told me to round up. So we're going to round up to 15 points a game. He is a young basketball player who can very well come in and provide some scoring alongside Josh Giddey, and he plays well on the defensive side as well as the offensive side. He did suffer through some injuries at the latter part of last season to where we didn't get an opportunity to see what he can do in the playoffs, but he still is a valuable option for our Chicago Bulls. Let me know how y'all feeling about that one. Now, we switch gears to talk about Quentin Grimes from the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, last year, he averaged about 13.4 points per game, but definitely could give you some scoring and be able to play on the opposite side of the floor defensively. And what's impressive is that the year prior, not last season, the year prior to that, he averaged 21.9 points per game, or what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to round up 22 points a game for the Philadelphia 76ers the year prior. And I think that's very, very impressive. So we know that there is a little bit more that Quentin Grimes can provide to a team like the Chicago Bulls. Come in and add to that. And I don't think that it's going to be really, really expensive to get him over here. The thing is, will he be on the Chicago Bulls radar? We shall see. We shall see. Then somebody that we talked about yesterday on yesterday's episode, myself and C-Dub, we talked about Norman Powell. Now, this is a guy that doesn't necessarily fit the age range per se, but if you are the Chicago Bulls and you want to add some scoring, you can definitely go out there and add a scorer like Norman Powell. This man has had his time in this league and has done well for a lot of teams that he's been on. And he comes in, he's a veteran guard that can come in and shoot the ball really well from the three and help with floor spacing. If you are the Chicago Bulls, you can absolutely consider him. But I do think there will be some other contenders in the running for a guy like Norman Powell. Norman Powell, if you're asking me, he might not want to come on to a young team that's just getting started with their rebuild. I think that if you are in the running for a Norman Powell, if you are the Chicago Bulls, you might have to overpay a little. I'm not sure that's what the Chicago Bulls brass would like to do. And I think that a team like Detroit might be a little bit more enticing if the Bulls are trying to go after a guy like Norman Powell. Now, I want to throw two names out there that are familiar with the Chicago Bulls organization, and that is Anthony Simons and Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton is a guy that came in and played some really solid minutes. Not great, not good, but solid minutes with the Chicago Bulls. I think that if we are considering Anthony or Colin Sexton, to be honest with you, I think the better option per se will be Anthony Simons, simply because of the way that he can stretch the floor and shoot from long range. I think if they want to go out there and revisit some of this stuff, I think Anthony Simon will be a guy to strongly consider over Colin Sexton at just 27 years old. We know that though he dealt with some injuries at the later part of the season last year, he has the clip. So we'll see about that one. The next two names are going to be some guys that could be rotational pieces. I'm not sure about starting minutes for these guys, but they still will come in and be able to add some veteran leadership and be able to shoot the ball well. Those two guys are Luke Kennard and Landry Shamet. These are veteran marksmen that can come in and help the Chicago Bulls. It'll be a short-term decision, and it definitely wouldn't cost you that much money to bring those guys in, and it definitely will help with floor spacing. And you might be able to get a little bit of championship experience out of Landry Shamet. He a New York Knick, and they just won a chip. Who would have thought we would have been saying that one? But hey, those are two more names. Now we got to switch our focus on to some big man help. We talking about Mitchell Robinson and Jock Landale. When it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I think he averaged about 15 minutes per game for the New York Knicks, and he is now a champion. And we know that a lot of people have been looking at Mitchell Robinson a lot the last few seasons as Bulls fans, and we've been like, man, get him over here. He could be a backup to Nikola Vucevic. Well, if you get him over here now, he can be a backup to Nick Claxton. That's it. So we'll see what he can do, or if that's a decision the Chicago Bulls will make. We do know that he's going to come up in and gobble up rebounds and be able to stick defense at a really solid level for the Chicago Bulls. And we know that Mr. Doylan over there in New York has already came out and said he ain't going over the second apron to keep this team together. So, Chicago Bulls, are you interested? We'll find out at a later date. Now, the next guy, Jock Landale, he's going to be a cheap, highly efficient backup big for the Chicago Bulls, who shot 39% from the three last season and could be a really good option for the Chicago Bulls and Tiago Splitter for what he wants to deploy offensively and defensively. And he's a tough son of a bull, coined by the great C-Dub. So he's SOB. Nah, we ain't using the other B word. We using bull. A tough son of a bull is Jock Landale. There is. You know what I'm saying? So he can very well come in and provide some energy for the Chicago Bulls and be able to space the floor offensively and give you some toughness defensively. And I think he'll be a good, valuable option for this young squad if they elect to go out there and try to get him under contract for the Chicago Bulls. I think those are really solid options in my personal opinion. So the list that I compile includes Peyton Watson, Quinn Grimes, Norman Powell, Anthony Simons, Colin Sexton, Luke Kennard, Landry Shamet, Mitchell Robinson, and to cap it all off, Jock Landale. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling about that down below. Y'all let me know if there's a name that I missed that you might consider to bring on to the Chicago Bulls, and we'll chop it up down below and keep the conversation going down below. Now, gotta switch gears, and I just want to go out there and let you guys know this is going to be on a little bit of a personal note. Now, we're going to celebrate Stacy King again, man. And this is why I'm celebrating Stacy King again, man. The Chicago Bulls are holding a memorial service for Stacy King. And I think it brought me to this mindset of appreciation. And hearing those stories from Adam Amin, Neil Funk, Stacy King's kids, I got us go out there and celebrate Stacy King for just the man that he was. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of times to where we look at quote unquote celebrities or athletes, and sometimes they be assholes. Stacy King was the opposite. And I'm gonna say it again. I said it before once we had lost him originally, you know what I'm saying, early on. I really feel bad that I did not reach out to this man to get him on the podcast, to have that opportunity to speak with him and get, probably not get to, form a personal relationship, but focus, and learn from him on a business side. This is a guy who you can see from the outside looking in. It was two things Stacy was doing on social media. He was either standing on his business with his basketball takes, or he was giving love to the fans, man. He was giving love to the fans. If it was somebody that was out of the state of Illinois coming to Chicago because they were a Bulls fan and they reached out to Stacy King would be like, absolutely, before or after the game, slide, I'm going to take a picture with you. And then most of those times or those interactions, we hearing from the person that met up with Stacy say, man, Stacy King treated me like he knew me. That's the type of man that deserves to be celebrated, bro. And then hearing these stories from Adam Amin, hearing these stories from Neil Funk, it just brings you to the realization how important we are as men. Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, I'm telling you, form yourself a brotherhood with good brothers. Don't let nobody tell us that men are not needed in this society. And I'm going to challenge everybody. Go out there and wrap your hands around these youth if you are a man. Seriously. And it does not just have to be your son. It can be your nephew or your little cousin. We as men are needed. Stacy King was needed to brighten up the day, to share his love with not only the people he ran the Bulls broadcast with, but the fans of basketball. Bulls basketball. Never really wanted to go on a national level and do anything because how much he loved the city of Chicago and the Chicago Bulls organization. And I say all that to say this. And this is why this is what, you know what I'm saying? When you look and you think about these things, I always say, give people their flowers while they're alive and not dead. Because if you miss those opportunities, man, it's gonna sting a little harder if you didn't give proper recognition while that person was alive. So just looking at this Stacy King situation, man, I gotta give flowers to my uncles, bro. Y'all only see 1/3 of my uncles, and that's C-Dub. And I can tell you right now, I'm not the man I am today without the guidance and the love from C-Dub, bro. But I'm also not gonna forget about C-Dub's brothers, his younger brothers, my Uncle Torrance, TZL. He helped me. He showed me how to defend myself, how to carry myself around certain situations, to have the awareness and the wherewithal to be on your shit in certain situations. And then my other uncle, Steve Black, gotta show love to him. We grew up just months apart from each other. We were born months apart from each other. So while he technically is my uncle, I see him more like a big brother. And he held me and didn't let me just bullshit around. I am not the man I am today without my uncles, man. Good men. Good men. That's why I'm making this statement and showing love not only to Stacy King, but to good men. We need good men around us, around the youth, to go out there and have a successful life. You gotta have good men around you. I want to show love to my people that I served in the military with, that I still talk to this day. My brother Waden, my brother Thomas, and so many more. Carlos, my old supervisor, Carlos. If I call him to this day, he's still looking out. And then to my podcasting brothers, man, that we formed a brotherhood. My brother Hayes showed me and C-Dub what it's like, bro. Guided us, gave us advice, helped us, critiqued us. helped us reach this 10K mark, man. Helped us, showed us the way. My other brothers, Steve-O, Mike, Big Kev, all these guys, ladies and gentlemen, all these guys, more specifically the fellas, put yourself in around good men. There will be some men around you that can help you or support you when it is necessary. And it's up to us to carry these legacies of the great men to where we can be productive men in society. If you got somebody that's around you, it does not have to be your son. Wrap your arms around those young men, bro, especially in our community. They need us more than ever right now. This is the stuff that has me thinking when you hear about these conversations and these things of Stacy King, bro. You have to go out there and just ensure that you're surrounding yourself by good men. As young men, we need good men in our lives. We love our mamas. We really, really do. But to be a man, you got to learn from a man, a good man. Just listening to these stories, man, on how hard this man, Stacy King, worked, it gave me the insight and just brought me to an appreciative point to where I gotta show love to my brothers and my guys in my brotherhood, bro. Surround yourself with good fucking men. If somebody ain't what you own, ain't about what you own, it's okay, bro. There will be some men that's on what you on. About being successful, about taking care of our families, about being just genuinely good men. It's a necessity, bro. It's a necessity to treat people with respect, to show love. It's okay. And I know I'm just going off, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I gotta give the flowers to the ones that came before me and helped me shape me into this life that I have today. And I want to say, give people their flowers while they're here. And I'll just get a little bit more personal. I missed the opportunity to give my granddad his flowers. I missed the opportunity to tell my granddad I forgive him. I missed them opportunities, bro. But guess what? We learn from those opportunities. We learn from those mistakes. And I'm going to show love to my people right now. My brother Sal is one of the best up and coming podcasters out there. If you're not watching Sal and his genuine takes and how he is able to host a show and how he's able to take a basketball conversation and even ask and temper some of the things that he go out there and put and ask genuinely good questions, you're doing yourself a disservice. My brother Hayes on how we can critique and how we built Chicago Bears Central together and how he has guided Shy Bulls podcast. I'm giving flowers right now. Give flowers to the people that deserve it and surround yourself with good men. Steve-O, my brother, educated me and helped me get better with football. Big Kev, gotta show love to him. Highly educated in the baseball department and basketball. Mike, highly educated in baseball. Gotta show love to my people. Shout out to my Unc C-Dub. I am not the man I am today without my uncles. I don't even talk to my pops to this day. But I gotta show love to the people that show up for me, man. Show love to the people that show up for y'all, man. And I know it's starting to sound like a sermon, but I gotta use this opportunity to get a little personal when I'm thinking about how to celebrate the people while they're here, bro. And we gonna celebrate Stacy King too. He's definitely one of those ones I wish I would have worked with. But from the outside looking in, this is a fucking good man. And if you got good men in your life, you gotta give them their flowers. I'm giving my people their flowers on this platform, like it or not. Like it or not. We gotta do it. It's a necessity, bro. So if you're a man out there, reach your ass down and go out there and mentor some youth. And it's not just about sports either. It's about life. If you're a man out there, reach down and help this movement of being better for the culture. Let's do it together. But hey, man, I appreciate watching the Bulls, man, and celebrating Stacy King because it put me in this mindset of appreciation, bro, for life. Appreciation for my brothers. To hear those stories go out to Stacy King, man, it mean a lot. It mean a lot, bro. And that's why I'm up here pleading my case to support my brothers and show love to my brothers. Give my flowers to my brothers and those that helped make me be who I am today, man. But I ain't gonna hold y'all up any longer. If you want to go out there and see Stacy King Memorial Service, it is on the Chicago Bulls YouTube page. And I really appreciate Stacy King for the stuff that he did for this community, man. Bringing so many faces into this community. The fucked up part is he won't be able to see this new iteration of the Chicago Bulls that's gonna bring a lot of fucking energy to this season. It sucks. But that's why we giving flowers while people are alive. Get somebody their flowers today, man. I appreciate y'all. That is it for me today. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, man. Try to see red, y'all. Peace.
Cognac. Gang.